So any insights, any aha moments from yesterday as well? Or it's all a blur. You can also put it in the chat if you don't want to talk. Sure.
One thing I realize more and more is how narcissists will hone in on whatever weakness you have, whatever area you've got a weakness in, whether it's health or lack of energy or whatever. And they absolutely blow it out of proportion. And when they've got something to cover up, they present themselves as being the innocent party, and that is the reason, because we know we may have this vulnerability or whatever, we take the blame. Yeah. So that is something I've had to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah. So part of it is the people pleasing thing, because we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to make waves. And it's also not it's not standing in our power. So if we were standing in our power, then they couldn't manipulate us. So
yeah, the minute you realize that you are standing in your power, I think.
Yeah, but they can feel it. They can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like it.
Oh, yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. But it takes
they up the ante then.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they'll react in a negative way. But if you're standing in your personal power, at least my experience, is what they say and do doesn't affect me.
No.
Maybe it's because he's my husband, but even my girls have said some not nice things to me. I know the truth. I know my truth, and standing in my power is part of that, is knowing my truth. And I remember my daughter getting upset about something. My ex had locked me out of my house, my yard, out of my office, changed the locks on the apartment downstairs so I couldn't rent it. This is after they were away for 20 minutes. And then he comes back and starts to dictate everything, and or tries. And he, my youngest is out there telling me I'm evil. And I'm just looking at her and I'm like, evil? Now, I could take that on as truth, but I know it's not true. And I know that everything I've done has been for the greater good for them. And I rest well at night knowing that. So it's possible that we need to just come to terms with ourselves first, and then they react and respond to us accordingly, right? And that's true of everybody and everything. So when we're looking outside of ourselves for validation, for love, for acceptance, we'll never be satisfied. We'll never feel like it's enough, because people are human, and someone somewhere along the line, if not everyone in the world, will eventually let you down. And the only one that you should be looking for validation and love and acceptance is from yourself and from your higher power, is the belief that I know. And that has really served me. Does that make sense, Linda?
Yeah, it does. Unless one, which I haven't done, but unless one has actually done something wrong and evil, you get those people as well.
Well, what do you mean? Like you yourself have done something?
Yeah, if you have done something deliberately to hurt, or not good or something, one's still got to accept responsibility for that.
100%. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So if I felt that, and I do assess, like I'm not quick to dismiss, right? So even my ex, when he would say certain things to me, and he would come at me and he would accuse me of all sorts of things, I would sit with myself and I would ask myself if what he is saying is true. And if there was an element of truth, then I would own that and I would take responsibility for it. And most of the time, a lot of what he was saying, most of what he was saying was not true. So I wouldn't accept it. So this is where there's that distinction, right? And we've got to be careful, because sometimes we're our own worst critic, and we give ourselves we gaslight ourselves basically by actually taking responsibility when the responsibility isn't ours in the first place.
Yeah.
Because they're really good at making us feel that way too, right?
Yeah.
By manipulating us and twisting our words and twisting what we've said. Now, if in reaction and response to them, and I said this yesterday, is I used to yell back, I used to cuss back, I used to accuse them of all sorts of things, call them names and the whole nine yards. And I didn't feel good about myself when I did that. So I decided purposely that I was no longer going to be that person. So if you've done things in the past, then there's a forgiveness that you have to give yourself, because we've all made mistakes. We've all screwed up. We all react and respond as humans. And sometimes we're capable of being emotionally intelligent and just taking a deep breath and stepping back. And sometimes we're not. So if you're in a phase where you haven't been, then you just have compassion with yourself like you would everybody else. Because if it was you talking to your best friend, or you talking to me and I'm telling you, oh my God, Linda, last night my girls and I got into it and it was just not very nice. And I said some things I shouldn't have said, and I did some things I shouldn't have done. What would your response be? We're human, you make mistakes, forgive yourself. If you can, say sorry, apologize, have a conversation if they're open to it, right? So,
Yeah, remorseful. Yeah.
yeah. So when we take on the responsibility, we're the only ones that are doing that when it comes to toxic relationships or narcissists, right? So, and as peacemaker in my marriage, I used to apologize to him for things I didn't do because I was wanting to have peace and not be in the fight anymore. And when I stopped that, because I did make a conscious decision of not taking blame when I wasn't responsible, in my opinion, then we went through some rough patches because, again, they don't like that you're standing up for yourself and that you're not taking blame, because all they see is that you're to blame anyway.
Mm.
So maybe take some time to kind of sit with yourself and ask yourself some questions about how you are behaving, how are you reacting, how are you responding, are you fighting back? So if you're fighting back, again, this is something I've come to understand and realize about narcissists. When you're in your personal power, you do not have to explain, you don't have to justify, and you don't have to get them to see your side, because they will never see your side.
Yeah.
And being in your personal power means you also don't care what, not, it's not the right word. Not care in the sense that it's going to affect and change you. So when you know who you are, you're like, okay, I know who I am. You keep calling me names. You keep accusing me of this, that, and the other thing. Go for it. You change the history. You make up things along the way. Go for it. Do your thing. At the end of the day, the truth will be seen. And this is one thing I have seen in court, is that the truth was seen.
Mm.
Everybody outside our family and people he hasn't told know the truth and know me. And not that it matters, but the support is overwhelming. So it's just a matter of knowing who you are. And if you don't like who you've been to date, because you have reacted and responded in not so positive way, you've taken the red zone, you've accepted their invitation to go down the red zone with them, then okay, that's the past. So what are we going to do moving forward? Who are we going to be moving forward? How do we want to respond moving forward? Because they are master manipulators, and they will goad you and they will try to get you to go into that red zone as much as possible, because they don't know you don't like it.
Yeah.
Right? So this is
Yeah.
where we're stepping away from just blaming them and just seeing all their mistakes and their faults and saying, okay, they won't change ever. They will not change. Even I follow this young man on Zoom who's seeing a psychiatrist, and he even says that they won't ever change. He's adapted and he's managed a little better. He's still in a marriage with his child, but his wife has got to be super tolerant. It's amazing. I don't know how she does it personally. So they will not change. They do not accept responsibility. They do not see their side of things as bad. They master manipulate. Like, they're not nice people. And it's not that there's a psychological reason for it, right? So them as a human have nice moments because I've seen him be really nice and kind and gentle with other people. It's not that he's not capable of it. It's just that I'm his punching bag or his victim or his supply, which allows him to be who he really is. So when we put that in perspective, then who can you be on the other side of that?
Yeah.
Knowing that it's going to change, knowing that they don't take responsibility, knowing that they um, they don't hear you. That's the other thing, right? So and they don't care. That's the
Yeah.
God's honest truth. They do
And
not
we have to just
absolutely.
accept, we have to accept that about them.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't mean we have to like it. It also
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that we have to tolerate it. We
Yeah.
can just stand there and take it if you want to and let it just run off your back because you know none of what he's saying or she's saying is true, or you walk away.
And expect them to
When,
behave like that. Yeah.
of course, they have a pattern. Like I mean, we're in the group together and there's everybody when they first come into the narcissistic group, they go through the, oh, my husband's like this or my wife is like this, and there's like 50 comments that say, oh yeah, I remember when. So we all go through the
Yeah.
same thing. So they're not hiding who they are. They don't know how to do that,
Yeah.
right? So if you know how they are and what they're doing, that also takes the fuel out of their fire because then the gig is up. You could just smile and walk away because you also know that when you react and respond, it gives them the fuel for their fire and
Yeah.
makes things worse, not better, ever.
Yeah.
So now we want to look at who are we being? Who are we becoming? Who are we in the moment when they get like that? And standing your ground, like I said, in your personal power and just knowing who you are and just to move over you because none of what they're saying is true. And again, there are things where you have been reactive and you're not proud of it and you're disappointed in yourself and maybe there's some shame or guilt around it, then give yourself compassion and forgive yourself and do different tomorrow or this afternoon.
Yeah.
We have to be the ones that are willing to change because they will not. And if
Yeah.
they are in their lives because they have to be, then yeah, you have to learn to manage them so that it doesn't affect you. Honestly, I am what I call Teflon. My ex-husband can growl at me, he can yell at me, he can cuss at me, he can do all sorts of things, and I just walk away. Because I know that none of what he's saying is true. He's just an angry, bitter old man. And it's this narcissism that's controlling him.
Yeah.
And food for thought. It'll make such a difference for you, Linda, if you just work on loving you, filling up your cup, and raising your vibration. Because if you can do that, then they will have no power over you whatsoever. They won't be able to affect you because they're not even going to be in your sphere. You're going to be up here and they're going to be down here still. And they're going to feel that energetic difference. And you're not going to be a match for them. So they're going to come at you less. And they're going to bother you less. Because now you're not their supply. This is my mission and my goal, is to eradicate victims of narcissism. But it starts with us, because there's that part of us that resonates, like I've said before, with their toxicity. So we don't feel like we're good enough. We're not deserving of the healthy kind of love, or we're not worthy. So there's a piece of you that's still in that energy that feels like you deserve this. And then ask yourself, if you feel like you deserve it, is it because of your past reactions and actions? And if it is, the truth is that, again, you're human, you've made mistakes, you're allowed, whether you're a mother or not, and you've got to forgive yourself and let go of the past, and tomorrow is a new day. So who are you going to be tomorrow? And it's not going to happen overnight. Please do not think it's going to happen overnight. Because it takes a minute. You gotta take a breath or two and then just go, okay, who do I want to be in this moment? He's saying this, he's doing this, he's reacting this way. Okay, who do I want to be? I want to be this person. Okay. Take a deep breath, and maybe for a while just walk away, which is what I did for the first little while, because I was just too wound up and I wanted to get into the fight, because it was, again, what we're used to. It's the comfort zone. So I'll always invite us back into what we're used to. So just be aware of that. So today, this is a great segue. We're talking about breaking the pattern and reclaiming your body's truth. So it's time to release the hidden stored trauma in the body that keeps us attracting emotionally unavailable or controlling partners, or colleagues, or bosses, or relationships of any kind, despite all the mindset work that we've done. So we're going to get into the healing part of this. We're going to get into a sacred arrival and portal activation. So today we move what's been stuck for decades. Today we release what your body's been carrying in silence. And you're not broken. Remember that. Not broken. You're patterned. But now we rise out of those patterns. So let's just quiet our mind. Take some nice deep belly breaths. Feet on the ground. If you're lying down, lie down. And just pay attention to your breathing. Pay attention to your belly rising outwards as you take a nice deep inhale through your nose, expanding your chest and your ribs. And holding for 4. And exhaling for 4. And pausing for 4. And envisioning roots coming from your feet and your seat going down, down, down into Mother Earth while we're doing these deep belly breaths, grounding us, supporting us, allowing the earth energy to come up through the ankles, knees, pelvis, into the heart, throat, third eye, and the crown. Going up, up, up to God, Source, Universe, your higher power. And in return is this beautiful white love light energy coming down through the crown, igniting all your chakras, making them bigger and brighter and bigger and brighter and bigger and brighter still, clearing out any denseness in them, making sure they're all the same size, same speed, and the same direction. And settling in your heart space. Loving your heart, in and around the heart, and feeling this love light energy expand outside of the heart into the rest of your body, toes, into the fingers, into the rest of your head and your body. And remember, this is a space of no shame, only healing, only truth. And the truth is, you are loved, you are lovable, you are loved, you are forgiven, you are good enough, you are worthy, you are deserving. Take a nice deep breath in and feel that course through your body as I say those words. And then next deep breath, bring awareness back to your feet and hands and stretch. So I just want to remind you that hyper independence is a protective armor. So I had a client who, when I first met her, she had this intense fear of being annihilated. Now, I've never heard that word being used before, but that's the word she used, and she used it a few times. Now, having said that, she also had huge patterns of abuse and emotional, mental, some physical. She was abandoned as a child. Her parents were alcoholics and drug addicts, and she was expected to take care of her youngest siblings. And her parents were really emotionally unavailable. So that's what she grew up with. And then she ended up with a couple of partners that were narcissistic as well, and mentally and emotionally abusive. So she had a lot of armor. And she went through this interesting cycle where every 10 years, socially, if she was a part of any clubs or any social events or whatever, she was volunteering, she would quit it all and then self-isolate. It would take her a couple of years and then she would climb out of it and get back into being a little more social, and because she felt she had to, but then she would go to the extremes. She would then overwork. She was working full time. Then she did the voluntary thing, and then she did some other activities as well. She was just always going, going, going. So this is one of the patterns I really want you to see. If you're an entrepreneur, or even if you're working at a job, how often are you burning yourself out? And start looking at it as and asking your question, what am I trying to avoid? Because this is a trauma experience. You are in a loop where you're basically trying to not see what you should be looking at in order for you to heal, to get into a healthier space. And again, remember, this is always about us in this conversation. So yes, they have done us wrong. Yes, we are the victim. Yes, they will never change. All of that, you are 100%, and yes. And what are we going to do about it? Do we want change for ourselves? And if we do, then that's where the responsibility lies with us. And I can promise you that if you work on yourself, focus on yourself, taking care of yourself, loving on yourself, filling up your cup, then they will fade away in some form. And their behavior will shift. Because we, as empaths, we have the empathetic ear and awarenesses. So we also take on sometimes their physical pain and or their emotional pain. My ex-husband was really sick for like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks after our court case finished. And I could feel his life force energy draining out of him. It was kind of amazing. And I'm thinking, God, I gotta get out of here because I don't want to feel him anymore. We are still so connected, and not on purpose by me for sure. And once I was aware of that, I was like cutting lots of cords and just kind of doing a lot of energy clearing and releasing so that I wasn't being affected by him anymore. And it took me a couple days to realize it. So sometimes just be aware that your pain is not always yours, emotional and or physical. It could be someone else's that we're taking on the pain for, especially as empaths. Okay, so this woman, she was also rejected and abandoned early from her parents and then her siblings. There was some narcissism with her siblings. By the end of working together, she was having friends over. She joined the YMCA and she was looking forward to life. And she was 74 years old. So it's never too late. So don't have it in your head that it's too late for me, because it's not. It's never too late, and you're never too young to learn and to grow through this experience. So if you're a woman who's strong all day but collapses at night, or one who attracts love bombers and spiritual men who can't hold you, or one who never feels safe resting, receiving, or trusting again, then you're going through the trauma experience. So this was a big one for me, feeling safe, resting. I'm okay with that now because I've worked on that. The receiving and the trusting again has been more of a struggle, more receiving than trusting again. Because I do trust that I will meet somebody who is going to be incredible and amazing, because I've done so much work on myself that I've risen and I've elevated myself here. So my match has got to be here. And I've just got to keep elevating myself, keep expanding, keep growing into the thing. So there was another client of mine who had been going through counseling for a while, and she was constantly being triggered by her colleagues. So if any of these experiences resonate with you, know you're not alone. And know you can change. She was expecting and anticipating that they would turn on her and cause her to be triggered often. She was always on edge. She fought with her husband and her son. She wasn't allowing him to fully love her and connect with her. And she had this fear of him either cheating on her or leaving her because she wasn't allowing in the love. She wasn't receiving the love because, again, it wasn't in her comfort zone. And what we discovered is the root was her father, who used to mentally, emotionally, and physically abuse her. And he had such evil and hate in his eyes. And so as a young child, she was, of course, on guard all the time and felt like she had to be in the struggle mode all the time. It was her safety zone. And she was just ready for a fight, always, even in her language. It was very intriguing. So when she's working and she was working with men, especially, she was really anticipating them trying to abuse her and take advantage of her. And she wasn't in her power. And then when she was working with women, she had this fear of them not liking her, criticizing her, judging her, worried all the time about what people were saying and doing and all that stuff. Gratefully, after working together, she was able to release a lot of that trauma and love herself and her life again. She wasn't triggered by others as much, and she allowed herself to shine at work. So this was also a factor, is that she wouldn't allow herself to shine, because if you shine, then you become a target. And she spent her entire life trying not to be a target. So we shrink and we contract and we try not to let anybody see us, because there's that fear that we're going to be abused. So it's that trauma loop. It's still the cycle, even from childhood. And she was in her 30s. So it happened when she was between 0 and 5, 10, and even after 20 plus years, 30 plus years, 50 plus years, it can still have an effect. So that's why we got to do the work. So a couple months later, she reported to me that her relationship with her son and her husband were stronger than ever. And she was getting along better with her colleagues because they didn't affect her anymore. So they were reacting and responding different to her. So I really want you to sit with yourself on this awareness. If you come into a room and your energy is anticipating a fight or a verbal assault or maybe even some physical abuse, what do you think other people are going to feel? How are they going to respond to you? They can feel your fear. I know that you've gone into an experience where you're in a room with a bunch of people and you can sense the energy in the room. And you can either sense the negative or the positive or both. And maybe you avoid certain people because you sense their negative energy or their heavy energy or whatever it is that's keeping you away from them. And there's also people that you're going to be drawn to because they feel lighthearted and happy and joy-filled and calm and safe for you. Same experience. So who are you being when you walk into a room with everybody, including and especially your narcissist? Are you anticipating the fight? Are you ready for the fight? Is your body language stressed out and contracted because you're just anticipating something happening. That will attract more of that. It's more of a match. So we've got to look at the law of attraction in all of this. So it's about, again, your thoughts, your feelings, your stories you tell, or your identity. Who are you? Are you a victim? Do you see yourself as a victim? Do you see yourself as somebody who's strong, or do you see somebody that's weak? Do you see yourself as somebody who is being taken advantage of? Do you see yourself as somebody who's constantly being victimized? And if that's the case, and I'm not saying you're not valid in feeling that way, and it also means that that's the energy you're coming with. And when you come with that energy, you're going to attract situations and circumstances that are going to back it up. So this is where the shift has to be within us. And this is why we have to become so hyper aware of ourselves and who we are and who we're being in the moment, so that we can rise above it and no longer attract that behavior anymore. Or at the very least, if you're going to attract it, not be affected by it. So hyper-independence equals protective armor. Your nervous system collapse equals the real reason why you can't manifest your healing. Stored trauma lives in your fascia, your organs, and your wounds. And this is where we're going to release today. Your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. So, who wants to be a volunteer to have a healing session and be witnessed by everybody else? And if we don't get any volunteers, then I'll just do a group healing. Okay, Jennifer. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah. You want me? I'm sorry. You want me to mute myself or unmute myself?
Unmute.
Unmute. Yeah, okay, I am. Good.
Yep. Hello.
Hello.
You look lovely in red.
Oh, thank you.
You look very good. So let me ask you this. Where have you been holding on to what isn't yours? Where in your body?
The anxiety and fear that I don't believe is mine it's definitely in my chest.
Chest? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What part of you still
I'm sorry, Tina, you froze, so I didn't hear that second question.
flinches when someone gets too close?
Okay. I'm sorry, Tina, you froze on my end, so I didn't hear the full question.
Just in case. Yeah, I don't think I'm the one that's freezing.
Okay.
So turn your camera on for me, Jennifer.
All right, yeah, sorry about that. Very odd. Okay, anyway, so please repeat the question.
It's okay. Yeah, so what part of you still flinches when someone gets too close? And if it doesn't resonate, it's okay.
I don't know if there's like a fear of letting someone get too close.
Okay.
But like if someone's disapproves of, like I can hear in their tone that they disapprove of me or something, that would definitely make me flinch.
Okay. And where do you feel it? What part of your body?
Um, like my throat.
Okay. So take a minute, close your eyes. And I'm going to get you to envision sticky notes all over your body. And these are going to be phrases, words, things that pop up when it's specific to the person that is the narcissist and your traumatic experience. So words like maybe you felt weak, you felt like you're not good enough, you felt like you should have known better, you felt stupid, maybe you felt worry, fear, words like unbelievable, can't imagine why this happened, how could he, how could she. Maybe you felt not good enough, not worthy, not deserving from the experience. Or maybe you actually felt like you did deserve the experience. Put it all in your body. Whatever words that are coming up, I'm channeling the words through from the divine. So if it's not resonating with you, it's fine. Allow yourself to feel it all. No holding back. Oftentimes, if they're a relative, family member, children, even parents, we have a tendency to justify their behavior a little bit. So I don't want you to do that. So don't hold back on what you feel. Maybe there's some anger, hate, shame, guilt, frustration, aggravation, but down, disappointed, how dare he, she.
Yeah, I would add rage to that to that list for sure. Definitely there's
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So allow yourself to put it on these notes all over your body. Bring it to the surface. The more it comes to the surface, then we can release it. So allow yourself to feel it all. Maybe you even question yourself, why me? Why did this have to happen? You don't understand, you don't get it. And then all the changes that have occurred since that experience. And maybe there's resentment and bitterness towards that on how your life has changed after and how it affected you. Putting it all on these sticky notes. And those who are observing, you can do the same thing for yourself. It's just the words that I'm going to be saying may not be resonating for you. So if you have other words or phrases, what are the beliefs around the whole experience? How dare he or she? Can't believe. Why did I fall for it? Maybe you feel like a victim. Keep bringing these up. Allowing yourself to really feel into it and be honest with yourself. Don't hide. Don't hide behind, oh, well, you know, he could have, he should have, he didn't know better. None of that crap. Because it may or may not be true, but it doesn't justify what happened. So allow yourself to really tap into those feelings of disappointment, feeling let down, maybe other people's responses and reactions to the experience once you tell them as well. Maybe there's some anger and hate towards them, feeling isolated or alone or lonely. Or pissed offness because they've gotten away with it. Maybe even continue to get away with it. Allow it all to come to the surface. Maybe even some bitterness towards people who tell you just got to get over it. What's done is done. What's past is past. How can I help you? And you want to use the fuck off. You don't know what it was like. You don't understand. Maybe you're feeling misunderstood. Maybe there's a part of you that feels like you've contracted, and maybe you're angry at yourself for allowing yourself to contract and allowing the experience to change who you are, to affect your health, to affect your relationships, to affect your businesses, everything moving forward. Maybe you're feeling stuck, still in the trauma loop, a little bit in the victim mode. Bring it all to the surface. You're in a safe space. Maybe you don't feel safe to trusting yourself, trusting others, trusting your decisions. All to the surface. And if you're not sure, you can just set the intention of bringing to the surface what no longer serves you, whatever that is. Now you're going to see a whirlwind circling you from the head, down the body, down to the toes. And it's going to pull out all these sticky notes from your cellular bodies, from the energetic bodies, from your core, karma, field. And all out and away from you. Allow yourself to release it and let it go. Sometimes, because of that comfort zone, we have a tendency, like a client of mine who didn't want to let it go because it became like a comfy shoe or an old purse that you love, or just, again, used to. So allow yourself the gift of releasing and letting go of all the feelings, thoughts, stories, beliefs, and identity around it. And once you feel that it's all gone, I'm going to get you to vision sticky notes falling down, down, down into the ground, into Mother Earth for purification, for transmutation. And maybe even say to yourself, it's safe. It's safe to let it go. It's safe to release it. It's safe for it no longer to have power and control over you. You're safe. And then coming down from the divine above your head is this helix. So it's white love light energy, purple energetic light, and golden healing energy coming down through the crown. And it's going to go into the back of the head, and the neck, and the shoulders, the arms, from the face, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the jaw, down your neck into your throat. Stay here for a few minutes. The throat, word swallowed and or said, that you regret. The heart space, and the chest, and arms to the fingertips, loving and healing and filling in all these gaps and spaces that are left behind, and all the darkness into the light and love coming down to the solar plexus, into the abdomen, around the organs, the tendons, the veins, muscles, bones, blood. Feel it circulating through your body, this healing, loving energy, coming down the sacral chakra, root, and down the legs to the feet. Pushing out any of the residual pain down and out through the feet into Mother Earth. As you allow this beautiful love and healing light energy to course through your entire body, from the head to the toe, filling you up, expanding and loving you, expanding and loving the heart, allowing the shields and the armor to soften because they no longer serve. Ready? You can open your eyes, stretch. How you feeling?
I feel a lot lighter, for lack of a better way to put it. It's like almost, yeah, I just feel a lot lighter, almost floaty.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, thank
Just
you.
make sure you drink lots of water after our session today.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. if anybody else who did it else, you want to share how you're feeling. Okay, so now we're going to do some journaling. If you have pen and paper, if you don't, you can just think about this and then watch the replay and you can copy down the words later. What part of you released something today? And then what truth came through? You can sit with yourself tonight. And what part of you feels a little lighter now? And if anybody would like to share, you're welcome to share.
I'm sorry, Anne, what was Tina? I'm sorry, Tina.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last
Yeah,
one?
you might want to turn your camera on again, Jennifer.
Oh, okay. There's storms here, so that may be
It
part
might
of
be
it.
me. Okay.
Oh, there's storms here, so that may be part of it. I'm sorry, what was the last question?
What part of you feels a little lighter now?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Since you've written all that down, we're just going to do a little womb healing. Place one hand over your womb, just below the belly button, and one hand over your heart. And breathe into the area. So you actually feel your belly expanding into your hand, feeling your heart expand, the chest expanding, your hand over the heart. And whisper this phrase: I forgive myself for surviving. I forgive myself for surviving. Forgive myself for surviving. I now choose to thrive. I now choose to thrive. As you're feeling into this energy, just want to ask your body, your soul, a few questions. What is if this is your new normal now? What if your healing didn't have to come from hustle, control, or looping the past. And you might hear some answers. The answers will be soft. So if you need to journal them while I'm talking, go ahead. What if your healing didn't have to come from hustle, control, or looping the past? What if it's someone, you had someone walking with you every step inside your body's truth and full feminine power? So as you feel into that, allow yourself to breathe and hear the whispers and the words that are being said to you from your soul, self, the higher self. Because essentially we have the answers. We know the truth. And this path is leading us back into remembering who we really are and who we're meant to be. Remember, your body is your compass. Your heart is your home. And tomorrow we're coming back to the integration of your power. We rise, we release, and now it's time to reclaim. And if you're looking to work with me one-to-one, you can just reach out to me and say reclaim. Tomorrow we're going to anchor into your intuitive power, rebuild some trust, and activate your soul-led future. This is just the beginning, ladies. I hope you enjoyed today. If you have any questions at all, you're welcome to put them in the group and we can have a discussion. Hopefully that question that you asked yesterday, Jennifer, you got an answer.
Yes, I got the answer, and then I responded to your question. So
Okay. I haven't had a chance to see, or well, with my
No
power
worries.
being aired in the morning, I didn't see it. So
no worries.
Okay, ladies, if you know anybody who needs to be part of this group, then please don't hesitate to let them come in, because it's important work and I really want people to thrive. I don't, none of this surviving nonsense anymore.
Amen.
That is my desire, my mission. There's too many of us surviving.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me
Thank you, Tina.
live. Like I said, if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the Rise, Release, and Reclaim group. If you don't have that link, DM me and let me know, because I think everybody's got it, but maybe not everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow. God spare life. Hopefully in this room, and if not, I'll be in another space. Have a blessed night, ladies.
You.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.